Today is a very special day. We're gonna see how this goes, but this is the first day Jill and I are getting into the stream. It is May 3rd here in Pennsylvania. We've had some pretty hot days, and it's supposed to get near 80 today. I didn't expect it to rain this morning, so we did get a little rain. And I'm on a trail that we usually use to access this one section of the stream, and it looks like it's kind of overgrown. I don't know if there's been a lot of fishermen here yet, but you can see Jill getting in the water there. Like I said, this is going to be a special day because I look forward to this day. I love metal detecting in the streams, and here we are, the start of stream metal detecting season. So off we go. I'll take my first step in here. Jill looks like she's in there without much problem. Is it cold?
A little bit. It's not bad.
A little bit?
Not bad.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna hit like 80 here in maybe the next hour or so. It's in the 70s right now, a little cool, but oh yeah. Yeah, the water's a tiny bit cold, but one of those things you just kind of get in and you get used to it. So, and it's just gonna get hotter and hotter, so it's gonna feel good. Supposed to rain a little bit later today, we'll see. But Jill's on her first find. What, you got a sinker there?
Nope, it's just crap.
Just crap. So this spot has been, we've detected this pretty hard the past year. I've detected this for a couple years now. We got 2 Spanish coins. I have a Spanish 2 real and a half real from here, a couple of copper coins, a couple of large cents and kgs. I got I think a Connecticut copper out of here, couple nice spoons, and just interesting finds here. So you just never know what we're gonna find, and lots of lead. This is where Jill and I had the lead competition where we pulled out about 20 pounds of lead together. So there's definitely a lot of lead in here, a lot of old lead. Once we start making our way down here, there's like a lot of old lead. So all right, I'm gonna get my machine fired up and get used to this cold water and hopefully find some good stuff here. I think I'm coming up, well, you can see a duck there. Might be a little tough to see, it's downstream a little bit. There's a turtle sitting out on a log just to the left of that duck. He's gonna jump in the water if I get anywhere near close to him. Just slowly making my way downstream. This area, we found some stuff. I found a copper up, Jill's back up this way, still close to where we got in. I found a copper up there at one point. But the better stuff that we've been finding has been down here, so that's where I'm making my way. See how long this turtle hangs out here for. Trying to get whatever little sunlight he can get at this point. It's very overcast at the moment. I have a feeling it's going to be really humid today. It's going to feel great to be in this stream. Oh, there goes the duck. Turtle seems unfazed by me at the moment. He seems very unfazed. Usually they'll take off long before now. Maybe he realized he has a nice prime location there and doesn't want to move. Oh, there, he's thinking about it. You can just hang out there, mister. I'll get away from you so you don't have to move. Oh, there he goes. You can just stay there. Not gonna bother you. It's kind of a big turtle. I don't know much about turtles. I just know that's not a snapping turtle, but I couldn't tell you what kind that is. Yeah, at least I don't think it is a snapping turtle. I don't know. He's just trying to enjoy the sun. All right, you just hang out there. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna go downstream here and find some good silver coins, or what I'd like to find today. Maybe a gold coin. That'd be really nice. All right, we'll be back with our first good find. It's kind of funny. When I've been editing my videos off my GoPro, I've been noticing there's like a little haze And I keep making sure my lens is clean. It's hard to do when, especially when you're in the stream, keep it clean. And when I'm out in the fields, it gets all dirty. But I just noticed now that it's in the water that there is a crack in the middle of this. Is like just a little protective cover that I put to protect the lens there. So I have more of these at home. I'll have to put more on when I get home. But that little crack that was in the middle there, I think that's what was giving that little ghost image, this little haze image. So I just pulled it off for now. But Jill made her way past me now. We're going down, and it's funny how these streams change throughout the year. There's a fallen tree that wasn't here last year. You can see it's like actually green. It must have fallen really recently. It's not dead. The leaves have grown out in it, but that's brand new. So hopefully that's not going to stop us from going through. There's a couple deep spots that make their way, so I hope we can get either around or under that tree there. But yeah, these things change every year, it seems. And it's funny because like I usually remember very distinct features about an area, but it just shows you how much things change and from one year to the next. Like I think I remember things and they're a little bit different than what they were, which is kind of good for detecting because you want to, you want things to get moved around. It could be that when we detected here before, maybe there was a tree or just a dead, like there's dead things here, and maybe over the winter some of these broke up and moved, and you get to detect somewhere you couldn't get into the prior year. But I'm just trying to think. I've been doing this about 10 years in the stream, and it's absolutely my favorite place to metal detect. I think some of my best finds have certainly come out of the streams. It just brings me back to childhood, walking in creeks, and it's a little bit more adventurous. In some ways it's more exhausting than being on land detecting, but in other ways it's not. It's kind of nice when you get into a stream like this, you're almost like just going with the flow, but then you have to turn around and walk back the other way, and it's going to be fighting the current. But always an adventure. Couple little tips I could give you. When I first started detecting in the streams, I thought the backpack was the way to go. And I do bring a backpack with me. I have my lunch in there, which are the Uncrustable PB&Js. I love those things. I have some Gatorade and sunscreen and, my keys for my car and stuff like that. And then I can always dump stuff in my backpack, but it's very inconvenient to get into a backpack when you're in the stream. So it just doesn't work well. So I do have a pouch, like a fanny pack, and a pouch hanging off of that where I throw all the scraps that I find. And I have a finds case that I can throw things in. But this here is one of the best things I could recommend. This pickaxe tool came from a video that Aquachigger put out many years ago. I have worn this thing down like crazy. A little hard to see here, but this side here used to be almost like a triangle coming out, like almost to a point. And I've just wore that thing down from 10 years of scraping rocks and stuff. But this thing is great. I mean, I can scrape away to find things if it's buried deep. You got the little pointy end here where you can like pry into little crevices. And I can actually, I know I've shown this before in videos, but I can actually go down and retrieve items and pull them up this way here like this, and they'll be resting on there. I've gotten really good at doing that. I might be needing a new one of these soon because this thing keeps getting wore down more and more. But I don't know if the guy that make these still does, but I might have to have somebody custom make one for me if he's not. But you definitely need a good tool like this. Jill, she uses like a little hand rake, like one that you'd get at like a garden store to like, do gardening. So that works well for her. I think this is a little better, but she doesn't like the weight of it, which is why she doesn't want to carry this around. But this has never bothered me to carry this all day. But yeah, as far as my shoes, I just buy like kind of sturdy shoes here. Hopefully you can see them. But you just want something with a really good tread on it. So these shoes have been pretty good. I just get like a sturdy hiking shoe. And then the trick that I use, I know people do different things. Jill, she wears kind of like water boots. I just use these like kind of sturdy sneakers, like hiking sneakers. And the trick that I use is I just wear 2 pairs of socks. That seems to keep the stone somewhat out And when stones get in, which they inevitably will, the two stones keeps it cushioned, or the two socks keep it cushioned. So, and there's another turtle friend standing out there. Ooh, and I'm getting a screaming signal here. Probably going to be aluminum because there's a lot of aluminum in here, but I'll dig it, and if it's anything good, I'll come back. All right, here's my first official piece of lead on the season, and it's a fun one. It's one of these old homemade sinkers, just a scrap of lead with a hole punched into it. I love finding these, but you know, ultimately I just cash these in. I did that last fall, and I got about 190 pounds of lead that I traded in. Now that was over about a 9-year period of metal detecting in the streams, but I gotta start my collection again, and this will be the start. All right, my first piece of lead. I wouldn't mind finding a couple Civil War bullets. It's possible that they're in here, probably not super likely, but there were a lot of soldiers in the Carlisle area, which is roughly where I'm at, so hopefully we'll find some Civil War bullets. Red-winged blackbird over here. I always have a hard time getting birds on these. Oh, there he goes. I was going to try to slowly sneak up on them. They take off pretty quickly when they try to get close to them. Yeah, so we're still making our way down to what I think is the more hot spot, the better spot to be in. I dug a couple pieces of aluminum. Had to dig really deep. It's in the some of just the loose rocks and stuff. So over on this bank at this point, that's like all loose rocks. And over here there's more bedrock going on. I prefer being in the bedrock. You'll get things much easier, and for some reason when the current comes downstream, where it's pushing all the low stuff, that's also where it pushes all the trash. So it's not to say that you can't find something good over there. There certainly could be amazing coins, but you're probably gonna have to dig like crazy. And more often than not, the signals you're getting are just like aluminum cans and stuff from, you know, people coming downstream and you know, throwing litter out or whatever, or just things just getting caught up and pulled into the stream. So I try to avoid, if it's real muddy and a lot of loose, small stones. This particular stream that we're in has a ton of bedrock, so it's pretty easy to find spots where there's a lot of bedrock. And then you'll find the crevices where fishermen throw their lines in, and they get the lures, and the sinkers get stuck. And so we find in the cracks in the bedrocks, we find like lots of lead. And so that's what we're gonna keep doing, is searching this. And like I said, we're coming up to what I think is more of a hot spot, where we found some of the older stuff. This is where I found the 2 different Spanish coins down this way, and some large cents. So, you know, so there's 1700 stuff down here, and we know of history from the 1700s in Carlisle in this particular stream. There's some fords that go back that long, and so we think we hit some of the fords as we're walking down this way. So we'll keep going, and one thing that I keep thinking as we're coming down here is, man, we've hit this stream a number of times, and last year in particular we had a little competition to see who could find the most number of lead sinkers, basically the most pieces of lead, and we cleaned this place out. I'm not going to say that there's not more lead, because obviously I found one piece today, and I'd be a fool to say that there's not more lead in here, because I'm sure there's a lot, but the common spots that we hit in here, they're kind of quiet. I'm not finding a lot of lead. When we hit this spot last summer, we probably came in here like maybe 10 times last year, and we're just constantly cleaning out lead, and it pays off for those. If you're on the quest for a Spanish coin, one thing you have to know is that, like, more than likely you're gonna find a half or a 1 real. Those are really tiny, and you wouldn't think that they're silver when you get that signal on your metal detector. It's gonna ring up much lower than, say, like a silver quarter, or maybe even a silver dime. So I run the Equinox 800, and if I recall last year, the half real I found was like a 16-17 signal. I actually thought it was going to be a sinker. So that's one reason you definitely, if you're doing the stream hunting, you have to pull out all the lead, because that will throw off your signals, and ultimately when you get the lead out, you start to find the coins that are around them. Oh yeah, we'll keep going here. Little tricky spot. There's another tree that's been knocked down over the I don't know if this came down over the winter, or actually looks like it was recent. Yeah, because that tree's split in half and it has leaves on it. I'm pretty sure those leaves would have stopped growing, so that's really recent. Yeah. All right, well, I'm sure either Jill or myself will find something good sometime soon here, and we'll be back with a nice find. All right, well, Jill and I definitely left a little lead behind. There's a nice big old hunk. Yeah, this, and you know, it's what we love about finding these. I mean, they're just, you know, they're so interesting because they're handmade, and they're very like frugal and practical, and you know, I'm sure there are fishermen that would still do this, but probably very few. I think they're just going to have store-bought sinkers. So this, I think, really speaks to the age of the area that we're in. You know, I'm thinking this is early 1900s, maybe mid 1900s, but you know, this gets you on the age that you're looking for finding coins and stuff like that. So we just love finding these. These are a great sign. And in this particular stream, in this particular section of this stream, we found a lot of old lead sinkers like this. So we'll add it to the scrap collection and cash this in at some point. But yeah, another really good sign. And there's Jill. She's made her way up there. Jill doesn't like to get into the water as deep as I do. I'm not saying that I love to get into deep water, but I'm a little more comfortable. And she always says it's because she's a little shorter. She's not that much shorter than me, but yeah, I've been up to my chin a couple times, and that's not fun when you have all this gear. Today? But sometimes you just, not today. No. In the past, there's a couple streams. This one here, I think I've been up to my chin in this stream at a point. I was trying to find an old swimming hole, and I just couldn't get there. But all right, well, I just found a piece of lead. There might be more near it, maybe some old coins. Let's find out. All right, I'm on, let's call it, I mean, those first couple pieces of the lead I found are nice. I like finding them. But let's call this my first good find of the day here. Yeah, it's going to be a pistol ball there. You know, an old, like, 1800s pistol ball. A little too small to be like a musket ball. But yeah, I found a number of these in here. I like finding these for sure. But all right, well, let's go. Let's find some more. All right, just got myself another piece of lead. This one's like more of a modern sinker, but by modern, I don't know age on this, but I mean, this is probably in the stream a long time for it to have like darkened like that, and looks like it's kind of like some pop marks on it. May have been down there a while, but a big piece of lead nonetheless. I'm always surprised. I mean, we find lead much bigger than this, but I'm always surprised like just how big of a lead, you know, fishermen use. I mean, I guess there's a technique and reason that you need. I don't fish, so I don't particularly know why, but I did some research on sinkers because I find so many, and I know there's various techniques and schemes that you're using to lead for, but yeah, there must be a particular purpose for a piece this big. All right, we'll keep going. Well, we go from finding that old pistol round ball to this little tiny, I'm guessing there's like a 22 little piece of lead. Yeah, I suppose, I don't know if people were taking shots in the stream just for fun, or maybe they were shooting after some kind of wildlife. I don't know. But yep, little tiny piece of lead. That rang up like a 9 on the Equinox. I went for it because it was a nice solid signal, and a 9-10, that could be a piece of gold. I don't think they figured out how to turn lead into gold yet, so unfortunately this was not the gold. You know, I was just thinking to myself, like, we haven't found like a ton of buttons here. We have found some, but I just found one. Yep. I think this is what they call a spun back button or spun button. I think there, that little center tab that's raised there. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, really close to where I think the Ford was. So this actually may be where it was. This is very close to where I found the half real last summer. So I was pretty excited when I saw that in the ground, as I was hoping that would be a nice silver coin. But yeah, but it's a button, and we'll take it. We'll add it to the button collection. That there is a Spanish 1 real for sure. It's way too big to be a half. But when I wonder, is it a 2 real? I think it's a little too small to be a 2. Oh, look at that thing. That's in beautiful shape. Oh, she's in beautiful shape. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can get a date off of this. I'm pretty sure we will. My little magnifying glass out here. Oops, it's over here. There we go. Let's check this out here. It is... magnifying glass is a little foggy here. Let's see what we got. 17... so it's 1700s. 82. That there is a 1782. Trying to read the name off of there. Something the third. Oh, this thing is beautiful. This thing is beautiful. Let me see on the back. It should tell us if it's a 1 or a 2 real. That is a 1 real right there. Oh yes. It has my, this here is my 3rd Spanish real from this section of this stream. This thing is just beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, it makes it all worth it. I love it. I love it. Let's keep going. Maybe there's more here. Oh, Jill's here on a good signal.
And I can't even find it, so I want to see what you found.
You still have a good signal there?
Yeah, right there. It's really... oh, here we go. It'll take me a half hour to find it.
It's tricky detecting in the streams, finding stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's super easy, and other times, boy, it's been forever. Sometimes you can't even see.
I can't see.
Yeah.
I use my hands. I can't. Or it's a big old chunk of aluminum, you know? I really am chasing it around.
That's a good sign. Might mean it's a sinker rolling around on you. Could be one of those disc sinkers. Watch out, Jill. Behind you, there's like something coming right at you.
What?
It's nothing bad. It's just a big, a big thing of like bark and stuff. It's gonna hit you in 3, 2, 1.
Oh. Could you hear that?
All I hear is my machine just beeping like crazy over here.
It's right there, and I just can't grab a hold of it.
What is that? Trash?
Yeah. Really good signal. Alright. It's gotta be silver. Is it gotta be silver? It's silver? Yes! Is it a real?
Mm-hmm. It's a 1 real.
No!
1781, I think it was.
I don't want to pick it up because I don't want to drop it. And I want the...
Dink.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's in decent shape, yeah. That's a good one.
80... 1782.
Oh, 82. Right. Yeah, I had my magnifying glass
That
on
is
it.
beautiful.
That's a good one.
Gosh, congrats. That's
Thanks.
a great one. You can't get much clearer than that.
No, that's a good one. Got to make sure it's in there before I close that case.
Yeah, right?
Alrighty. There's more here, Joe. You're next.
I hope. Looking for
All right, I just pulled out a bale seal. You can tell from the ridges on the edges there. I'm trying to see if there's like some kind of writing or design or symbol on there. Might be some numbers there. It might be worn down from just being in the stream. But yeah, looks like a bale seal. Get it home and see if we can read anything off of it. We'll see. All right, I just got what I'm gonna call a fired musket ball, simply because that side there looks like it's missing. Looks like this impacted and maybe shattered. I don't. Usually lead just like molds, compacts together. It's a little bizarre, but yeah, interesting find. Definitely a musket ball. All right, we will keep going. This has been a great day. What a great first day this has been in the streams for 2025. So found a musket ball, found a button, I found a Spanish real, and I just found one of my favorite things to find in these streams. This here is a trap tag. I just like them because of the personal connection. I've done videos on these, but yeah, it looks like this guy here, John Jennings from Whitehaven, PA. Yep, I like finding these. All right, we'll keep going. There's more good stuff here for sure. All right, here's my second pistol ball in the day. So one musket ball, 2 pistol balls. These are fun to find. All right, I'm gonna keep going. It's getting I have no idea what time it is. Maybe 5 o'clock or so. It's supposed to rain. Don't look like it's gonna rain anytime in the next hour or so. Who knows? But we'll probably start making our way back towards our cars. Oh my, look at this big guy. I don't know. I think that's gonna be is that a snapper? It's pretty big. He's got something in there, like a fish.
Yeah, he got a fish.
Now, I think, don't snapping turtles have like ridges on their back, but this guy is like really big. But he's got the he's got the face. He's got to be a snapping turtle.
Yep.
Oh, he scared the crap. Yeah, look at that dead fish he's got there.
Good job, buddy. You got a good meal there.
Oh man, he scared me. He just jumped up and...
He did.
Ah, we're gonna let that guy go.
Nice size.
Alrighty. So Jill and I are making our way out to the cars. It started to rain a little bit, and we just saw it snapping turtle. And if you look up in that tree, it's not going to come up great on the GoPro there, but that is an eagle up there. There's a nest in trees just beyond those power lines. We've seen this eagle for a couple years now. Yeah. I assume it's the same eagle, but what a great bird, man. They're pretty huge.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll fly.
I don't know, he's just hanging out, trying to stay dry.
No, he's gonna get some fish.
Oh, maybe.
Good weather for it now.
Yeah.
That turtle got the fish.
The turtle. Well, you can go get the turtle.
Yeah.
All right.
Might be too heavy for him.
Yeah, maybe. All right, we're gonna call it there. I think that's a day. We turned our metal detectors off already. Well, Jill, that was our first trip in the water this summer, or this season.
And what he wants me to tell you is, he's the one that got the real.
No, I'm just saying it was a good trip, and we'll be doing a lot more of these.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.